After the Jordanian ambassador to Israel was delayed at the entrance to the Temple Mount, Jordan accused Israel of not allowing him to actually go up. According to reports, the Pentagon is now sending U.S. arms, which are stored in Israel, to Ukraine. More than 90 countries signed a letter demanding the immediate reversal of Israel's punitive measures against the PA, and an attempted terror attack was thwarted near Elon More. I'm Justin, and this is the Israel Guys. Hello and welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, welcome back to the show. We're here with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, you know what to do. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out. Everything you do, share the videos, like, comment, subscribe. Also hit the little notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes. Guys, our goal is to reach 100,000 subscribers this year, so every subscriber counts. So it'd really mean a lot to us if you would subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter. We're sharing lots of stuff on Twitter, also short form content on Instagram. Also share all our videos so we can maximize our growth in 2023. Jumping into the news here this morning, guys, Jordan is all up in arms right now because their ambassador to Israel was delayed at the entrance to the Temple Mount, and then he left without actually going up, and Jordan is now blaming Israel for not allowing him to go up, basically. So, Jordan's foreign ministry summoned Israeli ambassador to Jordan, Eitan Sorkis. He was protested about this incident, about the Jordanian ambassador to Israel, Ghassan Majali, not going up on the Temple Mount when it wasn't Israel's fault at all. So the police rejected reports in Jordanian media that Ambassador Majali was prevented from ascending the Temple Mount altogether, and stated that the director of the Jordanian Waqf arrived together with the ambassador without any prior coordination with the police. They said, quote, "A police officer who noticed them and did not recognize the personality or know of the expected visit informed his commander, waited to receive instructions, and for this purpose delayed their entry into the Temple Mount area for a very short time. Contrary to erroneous publications, the ambassador's entry was not prevented, but he was the one who decided at a certain point to leave the place on his own initiative, in the process of the policeman updating his commander and receiving appropriate instructions. If he had waited a few more moments, he would have entered the Temple Mount area." So I guess the question is, why did the ambassador just show up like this without coordinating with the police? Like, if he had talked to the Israeli police beforehand, there would have been no delay. He could have gone up. Or, like, even with this delay, if he had just waited a few more minutes, he could have gone up. The Ram party in the Knesset, they condemned this incident, of course. On Tuesday, a statement published on behalf of the chairman said that it's, or on behalf of the party, excuse me, said that its chairman, Mansour Abbas, contacted the Jordanian ambassador, Ghassan Majali, quote, after he was prevented from entering the blessed Al-Aqsa Mosque today. Also adding that Abbas, quote, rejects and condemns this illegal move. Excuse me. Guys, there's nothing illegal about this, obviously, because Israel did nothing. It was all the ambassador's fault that he didn't end up going on the Temple Mount at all. First of all, he should have coordinated with the police. And secondly, he could have just waited a few more minutes to go up. That's basically all there is to say about this. Guys, but moving on, according to reports, the Pentagon is now sending U.S. arms, which are stored in Israel, to help Ukraine. According to a report published on Tuesday, American and Israeli officials told the New York Times that the Pentagon is tapping into a vast but little-known stockpile of American ammunition in Israel to help meet Ukraine's need for artillery shells in the war with Russia. Basically, the stockpile provides arms and ammunition for the Pentagon to use in the Middle East. Also, the U.S. Has allowed Israel to use it in case of emergency to use some of the supplies. The report also noted that Israel had expressed concerns over this since they didn't want to look like they're arming Ukraine to keep relations with Moscow. Basically, they want to have a good relationship with Russia, so they don't want it to look like they're helping Ukraine. So they were concerned that the U.S. is pulling stuff out of Israel, even though it belongs to the U.S., to send to Ukraine. But about half of the 300,000 rounds destined for Ukraine have already been shipped to Europe and will eventually be delivered through Poland. The United States has so far sent or pledged to send Ukraine just over 1 million 155 millimeter shells. A good portion of that, although less than half, has come from Israel or South Korea. So, moving on, more than 90 countries, guys, this is crazy. More than 90 countries signed a letter, which was published on Monday, demanding the, quote, immediate reversal of Israel's punitive measures against the PA. So, what are these punitive measures? Basically, Israel's withholding funds from terrorists. They're starting to withhold payments to the Palestinian Authority that were going to the salaries of terrorists. So Israel collects the taxes for the Palestinian Authority. As Josiah talked about the other day on the show, the finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, seized 139 million shekels worth of tax funds designated for the Palestinian Authority, and now he's transferring them to the families of victims of numerous terrorist attacks from the Second Intifada period, which sounds great and all, right? But now this is what all the world is up in arms about, basically withholding funds from terrorists and giving them instead to the victims of terrorists, to the families of these victims. The letter was signed by representatives of the Arab and Islamic countries, including Egypt, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan, along with some Western nations such as Germany, France, Italy, Ireland, Sweden, Norway, Cyprus, Japan, Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico. In response to this atrocious letter, Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen on Tuesday said the world should focus their energies on stopping rampant incitement by the Palestinian Authority that manifests in terrorism. I absolutely agree. Why do they have to focus on withholding funds from the Palestinian Authority? When their focus really should be on stopping as the foreign minister said, the rampant incitement by the Palestinian Authority. Eli Cohen wrote on Twitter, quote, "Meaningless statements and signatures will not stop us from making the right decisions that will protect our citizens and ensure our future. The interest of all the countries of the world should be to stop the incitement of the Palestinian Authority, which encourages terrorism and pays terrorists who murder Jews. The state of Israel is first and foremost committed to Israel's security." So, of course, Israel is not going to listen to this letter. They don't need to be dictated to by the rest of the world. They're not going to cave into the pressure from these 90 countries because, as the foreign minister said, the state of Israel is first and foremost committed to Israel's security. So they do not need to cave into this pressure or listen to this letter at all. Moving on, a terrorist who was armed with a knife was, thank God, apprehended near the community of Elon More, which is in Samaria, actually very close to here, about 15 minutes from here. He was caught on Tuesday near the entrance of the community. The security guard that was stationed at the gate of the community identified the terrorist. He saw him on the cameras, and then the security coordinator captured the terrorist and handed him over to the security forces. After this incident, the head of the Shamaron Regional Council, Yossi Dagan, spoke with the security guard who was stationed at the entrance to the town and also with the security coordinator. He said, quote, You showed bravery, and today you saved lives in Israel. The entire settlement in Samaria is proud of you, and the people of Israel are proud of you. We will continue to build Samaria with all our might. We will not be afraid or hesitate. We will continue to build and get stronger. Later on, the Elon More security team clarified that the terrorist was not anywhere close to the community when he was arrested. They wanted to calm fears of the Elon More community, also not to spread any fear or anything. They said, quote, In the last hour, a report was published in the media about a terrorist who tried to enter Elon More. The report is not accurate. At great distance from the community, a figure approaching in the direction of Ein Kfir, not on the way to the community, was identified by lookouts. Forces were deployed, and within a short time, a terrorist was caught with a knife in his possession. He was handed over for questioning. We thank the Army and the Military Security Coordinator for their vigilance and immediate action. It is important to note that if this were an incident related to community, the residents would receive regular security updates in real time. Thank God no one was injured, that this terrorist was stopped before he was able to get to the community of Elon More, and that this security guard who was stationed at the gate was doing his job, paying attention, and that he spotted him on the cameras, and that they did prompt action and were able to apprehend him. Also, on Monday evening, terrorists fired at a house in the settlement of Shaked in northern Samaria. Thank God, as before, there were no injuries in the attack, but the window of the house was shattered. Yossi Dagan called on the government to respond sharply to the shooting and the continued acts of terrorism by Palestinian Arabs. He said, quote, "We will not wait for casualties. This government should order the IDF to respond sharply, bring back the barriers, eliminate the terrorist infrastructure of the murderous Palestinian Authority everywhere." He's completely right. But thank God there were no injuries sustained in this attack, but continue to pray for the nation and people of Israel that there would be no more terror attacks and that violence would stop and that the government would be strong to stop the Palestinian Authority from inciting violence, also just to stop the terrorism from happening. Guys, I know we're going to close out here in a second, but I want to play a video because I think it's really important, because you'll never see anything like this on the mainstream media. As you can see in the video, two little boys running towards IDF soldier. He's giving them food. And then the little boy hugs the IDF soldier. And he gives a high five to the other one.